welcome. We're doing part 2 of... Okay. Yeah. And we're live, good. Part 2 of Kimani applies to Kai Cenat's Streamer University. Let's go to their website. I did not participate in Streamer University 2025. And you know, after seeing Kai's posts about the Atlanta in-person open and how, like, anticipatory that they were of a massive event, I was thinking, well, you know, maybe I don't know. I don't, in terms of streaming and contributing to the streaming world outside of TYT community, and we can check out Lens Face as well. Oh, interesting. There was a program that I saw where you had to have at least 3,000 followers to qualify as an influencer. Does the ratio make you not qualify? I basically follow from this account all the other press accounts, all the other media accounts. Okay. Can watch a little bit of Muddy Field.
Oh, they stopped it. Welcome to Lens Face. Kings Mavs tonight. I'm wearing a lot of green because I didn't do it for St. Patrick's Day. So, in classic me fashion, I'm doing it on my own time. So happy St. Patrick's Day. 105 to 93 with about 4 minutes left. Sacramento's up. I want to update y'all on the playoff situation because it's likely the Kings are not going to make the playoffs. But right now, the Oklahoma City Thunder are just spiraling out of control. They're losing a bunch of games. Paul George is hurt. They're now the 8th seed. So the Kings, I think, are 4 games behind Oklahoma City. Lens Face. Oh, they stopped it.
Okay.
With 8 games, 9 games left, something like that.
Bro, the tiebreaker. We got the tiebreaker between Oklahoma City and the Kings.
Sacramento. But they're still 4 games back.
But that helps though, because if you're 4 games back of the Clippers, who they got swept by, that's different than being 4 games back of the team you got the tiebreaker between.
Fair.
Now if you tie them, not exceed them.
Yeah. So, but either way, the Kings are gonna have.
I'm gonna shut that off. Look, it's all there, Lens Face. This is on YouTube as well. It's episode number 112, Muddy Field. Because it rhymes with Buddy Healed. Shout out Buddy. I would not call Buddy my guy because I don't know him that well. I only call the people that I know well and that I like as human beings my guys. And in terms of the NBA, I believe there's 4 players. Maybe 5 if y'all's recent scapegoat would put himself on that list. And this dude, this one, ooh, if this fox, man, they messed up my Scalabrini graphic. Speaking of Buddy Hield. Oh yeah, I'm a chopped unk. I've been doing this. This is crazy. This is a 3-pointer. And Rudy's on the block. What do y'all think about that? Sneakerheads, what shoe is this? Put it in the comments. I started doing in my last couple of years there, I started doing a line of photography specifically focused on framing the basketball shoes in action. And I think that's a really good angle. I think I want to get back. If there's anything I'm going to do in the game, I want to be hired by a shoe company, paid nice. I want to own my shots. That's my requirement. Is owning my see, this was a game winner. Nah, see, Flock's been doing this. Oh, it was a game tying basket.
Fox, here he is, Fox!
Buzzer beater, dude. Come on, that's what he used. You know, he was that guy. Ooh, Vince Carter.
I could have a quick soundbite on the benefit of holding the ball like this.
Well, keeping the ball away from the defender where he can't steal the ball. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, I don't know, it's just a thing I've learned. I'm able to hold the ball out like that where my defender can't reach, and then, I can just make a move or make a pass from that position.
Do you think it's a generational thing? So not too many players, this day and age do this.
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah, I mean, because back in the day, the Kevin Garnett of the world, like all the my
I was thinking
guys,
you, T-Mac, Kobe.
Yeah, exactly. But that's what I'm saying. Guys in that era, that's what we did. That's one thing, because you had the great defenders who always reach for the ball. You can't reach for the ball here. And if you do, you kind of like make you pay for that. But if you reach back here, I'm gone.
And you keep an eye out in case somebody comes out behind you. Okay, cool. Well, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Have a good night. I could have
I did not take these Kobe shots, or obviously the Michael shot. I did do the paintings. I didn't take these T-Mac shots either. So yeah, when they say like how Cat obviously does that, it's not new, but I'm not trying to cut him at the knees or anything like that. No. Okay, so Bogdan's my guy, but this was brutal. Oh, this is nasty. I'm sorry, man. If Jamal Murray puts this up on the wall at his gym, I mean, what do you guys think on the price of this shot? For this, they'll print at 6-7 foot canvas, which is what, 2.1 meter canvas. I'm talking about diagonal. Damn. Is that really his Instagram handle? Oh yeah, and then that's because the season before, you had Garrett Temple here blocking Jamal Murray. Oh man, I'm sort of nasty on a block. I'm sort of nasty on a block shot with the lens. Like, I am very proud of block shots and game winners. The 7th best photographer the league has ever seen. Oh, what a weird thing, because you can't prove me wrong. And hey, I did a hair under 10 years at this, man. Problem is, I never shot any Knicks. No, I mean, not like that. I obviously shot the New York Knicks when they came to town. What I mean is, I never shot a championship team, so my career never rose with the value of the happenings on the court. This is a crazy shot. What am I doing? Oh, it's April Fool's Day. This got to get me into Streamer University, right? Come on now. Come on now. I'm a hidden gem. Y'all will be lost for a month digging through my archive and like finding out about me trying to cancel me. The leverage-seeking dipshits that we all are. Ooh, Willie. He should be on a roster, by the way. He's 7'2". I don't know. Maybe he's creaky now. Everybody in their 30s knows what I'm talking about. I got tails, man. This is a great graphic. I saved Boogie money with this shot because so they kicked him out of the game. Did they kick it? Did they kick? I think they kicked him out and then they brought him back in. At any rate, they fined him $25,000 because they thought that he deliberately spit his mouthpiece at the Portland bench because he was mad. And I said, a linguist opinion. If Boogie Cousins had spit the mouthpiece deliberately. Oh, that's so funny. If hey, shout out Kenny Thomas. Yeah, Kenny's definitely my guy. He's paid me money to do like to do things. Not like that. Oh man. No, like it just like hired me to help him with photography, with branding. In his when he got some things going in Sacramento about 10 years ago. So yeah, but I said his mouth would still be open if he had deliberately spit it out, because this was mid-action. But he had said a word and the mouthpiece fell out. Anyway, saved him money. What a great shot. Ooh, clean. I want to shoot hockey next. What do y'all think? Ice hockey. I'm cold with it. If I had a time machine. This guy. This is the broken one. That's the only one that y'all are going to focus on. At all, probably 82. I don't think I have that many locks. So it's probably about 30. Yeah. Anyway. Shout out my nephew Barley. He just graduated high school, by the way. We want to do something big this summer. Okay, so while I'm here, I would I want to clarify my disability. So y'all aren't too worried about having me on site on campus. I just can't be too, like, I have to manage when I eat. I have to drain my intestines at a certain level. This is what I'm going through. And this is what it looks like on the inside. And this is what it looks like on the outside. Well, I guess I can cheat that. Oh, okay, I have to wrap the stream up at 9. There we go. Fire Steez, by the way, it's from it's from the Crypto Bears line. This is number 60, Bear Bait. It's one of the animated bears, and a 12-year-old. And Julian is 11. Are you 11 or 12? Oh my goodness. 2014. He's a July baby, so he's turning 12 this year. Okay. He's turning 12 this year. "18 years of hair, Walking Dead," or Last of Us franchise. Pirates of the Caribbean, 18 years. 18 years. Yeah, one of these locks got it for 18 years. I like having, okay, so yeah, let's finish talking about what I'm going through. Make sure the pants are all the way up, and make sure y'all can see that. Okay, so I've been cut here to here, here to here, here to here, here to here. And you did a little one over here. But each time they're doing reset, this one might actually be this one here and then this one up here. But each time they're doing scar tissue clearouts and resectionings. And then this area, somebody kicked me after my last surgery. So I go through a lot. I have to manually drain my intestines, which I will show you. Where's my tools? Oh, they're in my pocket. Yes, I made a film about that exact thing. It's called Last Call. So this area here, this is your transverse colon into the descending colon. And maybe I'll look at this camera since it's bigger. And over here, on my descending colon, where this person kicked in this area, I use 4 bristle brushes. You see these? And keep in mind, I'm not a charity, I'm just explaining what I'm going through. So in the case that I'm added to this campus, you guys understand that I'm really asking, number 1, not to be put with a roommate. And number 2, just a little compassion and empathy for people that have hidden disabilities. They don't like to perform them for people, So, let's see. That light's pretty good. So I come over here, and I have to do this every time I eat. I have to open that up. Ooh, even that feels nice. But it's very fatiguing. It's instantly fatiguing. And because it's very painful as well. I'm used to the pain. It's been 10 years of this. My, that area got kicked in about 10 years ago. Ooh. Okay, let me not do that too long before the cycle catches on. So, I can lay on them on my back and get the same effect with this, I can kind of yank it and then sort of force it open and then lay on the boar bristle brushes a certain way so that area is kept open. And that's what drains the rest of it so I can live. And I have to do this every day. It takes 2 to 8 hours because this whole area is dead. It's not just this part. The rest of it's dead down to the part that pushes things out. Yeah, we're good there. So count your blessings, right? We all have our battles. So I have a hard time making a living. The state of California keeps defrauding me of disability by calling this irritable bowel syndrome. And so now I'm up against the Social Security Administration. I wouldn't say against, but they're doing their research and their due diligence and making sure that I can't work or whatever. I mean, I'm trying to find, look, I'll do something, but like my entire point as the person who's been doing media publishing for so long is that every single contribution of effort that we're putting into any property, we're helping publish that property. So when that contribution is commercially expressed, which is what I'm wearing, get that off screen. Sorry about that. Let's go to the shirt. I'll put it in chat for y'all. This is Bear Bait. This is the shirt I'm wearing. I'm wearing it backwards, but this is how it would normally be on the green stripes would be on the front. Sweet. So that's the actual bear. That's the actual publishing title. Okay. Look at me, a streaming expert. I know how to do 2 cameras. I can give you 2 cameras at once. And one of them can have a cool effect. And I can kind of do a picture-in-picture thing. Okay. It's an efficient way of doing things, I think. What is it? There it is. Go down. Yeah. What do we think, chat? There we go. The multicam. Streamer University. Let's check it out. Julian, finish your merch line. You only have 1 item up. You'd have to put 7 more up. By the way, there's only 1,000 of these shirts. And everything in the Musical Bears catalog, there's only 1,000 of each item. Super duper limited. Paul, if you watch this, I would like you to wear a bear shirt while doing a breakdown. That'd be great. If you drink coffee through a straw, it's strawfy. Oh, okay. I was doing that. Let's put that over there. Speaking of Paul, I don't know why the leader Samuel Stearns is in your Superman breakdown. Oh, that's my thing. Okay. So, with my time today, I did want to talk about collective publishing on the Public Notary. That's really what I wanted to talk about. I have about an hour. StreamerUniversity.com, and then let's just watch something from Streamer University from last year.
The most important thing that we can do right now is to re-engage.
Wait, how do you know you got denied?
I'm gonna let you know when I'm going. Yeah, you good.
You have 4 million subscribers, dude. Let's do an account review. I think, is that a good exercise for this? I mean, I have no cloud. I got nothing. This is as much cloud as I have, as my tuft. Get back up in there. Who's watching this? Am I watching this live? Oh, I'm the viewer. Okay. Yeah, so I have 108 subscribers off 207 videos, and October 4th, 2008. So this was a this account we launched about a year after we launched the brand itself, which was September of 2007. Because I was posting all of our stuff to my old account, which is 306 subscribers. So between wow. Now this channel actually has viral pieces on it, like my Dinosaurs Will Die music video that I made. It's the de facto video for NoFX. That's fun. But 13 videos, and this is an old account. This is January 14th, 2007. Kimani Okearah of Lemay Productions. This is his personal YouTube. Kimani Okearah was born and given the name Kimani Okearah Wallace in 1989 and 1991. Was it 90 or 91? I don't remember. The foster system of the state of California assigned him the name Kim David, which is still his legal identification. In life and business, I'm Kimani Okearah, and as far as the state is concerned, I could be Kim David. Okay, you know what I mean? That is paperwork. There's a lot of things on paperwork that aren't relevant in any other part of my life. So, the legal name can be that as well. I don't know. I can't watch any of the music videos. I don't want any, but like it should. Let's pretend that Kai or one of Kai's people decides to stream this and talk about me. I don't want to get them in trouble.
Damn, girl, you stupid fly.
Meet McFrey. He's always macking on your girl with his sunglasses, his 10-cent grill, his Adidas sneakers, and his crazy hyphy slang.
Ghost ride the whip.
How could you compete with that thiz face? So next time you're chilling with your girl and McFrey comes yoking up, keep your cool with X-Dry.
All rights reserved. No part of this ad may be reproduced or retransmitted without the written consent of X-Dry. No fur-bearing animals were harmed during the creation of this product. Allergy alert. May contain nutmeg, but we doubt it. Return.
I'm dead serious about that. I know my career hasn't quite gotten to where I want it to be in the Hollywood climb, but I would handle an X-Men film, and y'all would like, oh my gosh, oh my goodness, oh Feige, Nate Moore, put me in the writers program. I'm also applying to that, but let me do Streamer University first. Let me focus on that. Does this all apply? Okay, well, I wanted to do an account review real quick, and let's switch back to LMO Prime. So I still have to update the Bear songs on here. Maybe there's time to do that before I have to head off to my doctor's appointment. Yeah, what I just showed y'all, I have to do another contrast image. And since the last time they did a contrast image, I almost died. It even says in the report that they had some sort of weird medical term for it. But they want to put me under, and I got lost in a network of referrals. I'm on like my third referral, and it's taking forever. And this is the sort of nonsense. It's just like, that's just to get on disability and to make a basic living. And I'm like, I don't need to do that. I just need this sort of stuff to go viral, even slightly. There's let me put this on a different screen. This is the easiest catch pen in the world. You know, our store isn't doing phenomenally bad. Wait, is that our last week? We had 4 visitors? Goodness gracious. All time, we have 3,600 visitors, 40 units sold, with $600 net profit made, and that's been split down the middle because it's a co-published catalog. So 50% of the net profit has gone to the co-publishers, and 45% of the net profit has gone to Let Me Out Productions, and 5% goes to the charity splits that we have, which are People's Budget of Sacramento, Decarcerate Sacramento, and Rewild, which is a program that's supposed to help bears in the wild. Because I like bears. Bears are great. Okay. All right. So.
What's up, my brother?
Oh my God, MVP, how you doing, bro?
How you doing,
Damn,
sir?
you got a little shorter since I last seen you.
Yeah, I got my
Oh,
Crocs
Bobby
on.
got 3 Crocs.
You know,
Okay. All right.
Just trying to support, man, you know.
Sit down. Have a seat. Have a seat. Have a seat.
You know, I'm very happy to be here.
Anybody else feeling sketchy? Okay. No shade, no shade, no shade. But you've got 4 million subscribers, you know what I mean? So I guess if I could afford to go down to Atlanta, I guess I would have done that.
I'm very happy to be here.
Okay. All right. All right. All right. Why are you so happy to be here, Daryl?
I feel like Streaming University last year, I might have rubbed you the wrong way.
Pause. What do you mean by that?
Not like that, not
Okay.
like that. I'm saying like, you know, fighting with the students.
Oh yeah. Let me go ahead and remember and recall the amount of things you've done on the campus, right? Not only have you boxed the students on the campus, you beat a few kids up.
One.
You started this little love triangle with you and the Duke Dennis guy. You also was out there calling students balls, which is very inappropriate on the campus. You also had many warnings. I had to come to your office one time and I had to come to your dorm and beat the out you.
And that's why I want to come to you and say, okay, I want to show you I'm better. I want to show you what I can bring to the table, and that's why I want to run a fraternity.
What do you apply to be?
Fraternity. I want to run a brotherhood. I want to show a club director. I want to show young streamers, young students.
Oh, you the one that the entire school on campus to go party, ain't you? That was you. Oh, you that?
Makes more sense.
Okay. Let me see your resume.
Let me tell you why.
Hey, the person that decided to sneak all the students off campus on a cheese bus to go party, right? And when I had the cameras on, y'all, I had to come rush off my bed and.
Hold on. What the fuck is a cheese bus? Did he just say cheese bus? That's a funny ass word. Cheese bus? What's a cheese bus? Is that just what he's calling a yellow bus? As a cheese bus? Because I like that a lot. I like that quite a bit.
Go ahead.
But can I tell you why? The reason why I did that is because a lot of students was coming to me. They saying, man, our mental is drained from learning. So I felt bad. I took it upon myself as a professor. I had students crying to me. Like, you can ask every student. They came crying to me and they said, okay, boom, we want to go somewhere.
Oh, well, let me finish my point on that. Okay, so after seeing this, right, how many people wanted to be a student at Streaming University, although I'm 36. I haven't been as successful independent media creator. I've been on successful teams and made successful things. But so I know all parts of the game. But I know what it's like to be out here grinding since 2007 on YouTube and not having hit anything. No gold mine at all. And I think that's part of it. I think that's an angle to it. So there's that, you know, at the same time. Is this the one I'm in? And like the
white people be like,
hello, my name's Roger. I drive a Ford Focus and I drink soy milk.
black people be like,
what? Go ahead and finish it, man. What do black people be like?
That was 10 years ago. Same here though. Hey, so actually, let me.
Okay, let's go.
I love Tyler Perry.
I know, Shane.
Every fine ever.
Okay, let me tell you guys. Having met Shane, I did not know Shane was like a child actor at all when I was working that job. I met the younger crew. I didn't know any of them. So when I first met them all, I only knew Anthony and Ian and Ryan Todd to some degree. Like I'd heard of Ryan Todd. But I didn't know any of the younger crew, so I had no idea Shane Top was like a child actor or famous for other reasons. So I just thought he was a guy. I thought he was like this jock Santa Barbara type dude, right? And he's one of the nicest people in the world. What the entire I'm sorry, he's so cool. He's just a cool dude in person. And behind the scenes stuff, like hanging out, sitting around, chatting, deep stuff, you know? That dude's a real one. Let me tell you that. Shane Top. I want to pitch him, I keep on saying, James Gunn, what's up, brother? You don't know me. But James Gunn put they had Shane, the fans have Shane Top going for the super blonde guy, but I'm thinking Plastic Man. He'd be a perfect Plastic Man. And you'd have him for years. You'd be able to do that for 30 years. You'd be Jim Carrey of that, you know? But Shane Top, watch out for him. Everybody in the world, watch out for Shane Top. All the Smoshlings, I call them Smoshlings still, because they're part of my. Wait, that's funny. Where did we shoot this?
Smack cam! Oh, my eye!
That's got to be at the Smosh LA offices, because I do not remember a Joe Beretta poster on the wall.
Every vine ever.
Are you sure this is gonna work?
Dude, totally. Just hit that ramp, you fall on that soft pile of leaves. It'll be a hilarious fail. Go!
Okay.
Do it!
Okay.
Nah, they're married now.
Oh God! No!
Dylan? Oh my God. Face first into a fire hydrant? That is epic! Whoa, good thinking, little bro. Yeah!
Okay, enough of Smosh. Kimani, why did it go bad between you and Smosh? Why does it go bad between Smosh and most black people? Oh my God. I'll leave him alone. I'll leave you alone, Anthony and Ian, today, but I do have something coming on you guys. Don't let it be a burnt feather in your coat or whatever, in your pelt. So what am I doing? What is that? That's nothing. But anyway, don't let it ruffle your feathers is what I was trying to say. But it does need to be addressed, because y'all are out here really doing, you know, some branding for yourselves in a certain way. So I think the pains that you've caused as a brand ought to be confronted in some way. Yeah, the light-skinned dude at the beginning is a champ. Thank you, Let Me Out Productions brand. You're absolutely right. I didn't leave that comment at all. Okay, I don't know what a cheese bus is, brother.
Funny Mike talking about some let's go to the club.
Oh, it's Funny Mike.
Exactly. Funny Mike talking about let's go to the club.
So
I'm
was
like,
it your idea
no,
or Funny Mike's idea?
it was Funny Mike. And then but the way it looked on stream, it looked like I did.
Okay, so Red Bull loves me. We flirt all the time. I don't know why I don't have a contract with them. Because I should be shooting as many events as possible. Lens Space should be at as many events as possible. Because as impossible as those events are, you think my camera work? Y'all, what are we talking about? What are we doing? This is manual focus, no stabilization. Okay? That's what this is. You can even tell because it's fuzzy on the ball. And it actually, this is no crop. This is the natural frame that was taken. Anyway, this is the best shot I'll ever take, so I always advertise myself through that shot. But y'all can go to NBA Lens Face on Instagram and look through a shot after shot after shot, hundreds of shots. Shout out to my brother Giovanni, may he rest in power. This is Giovanni, everybody. He published music, and thank God he did. Because I can go hang out with him anytime.
Yeah, but Funny Mike the reason that all that
The
happened.
party of last year.
Exactly. Because I would have never did that. Why would I put my job on the line?
Right. So why did I have to warn you so many times when I got to your room? Or why did a lot of students say it was your idea?
Chat.
Because you see how people treat me on the internet already. Everybody always hating on me. So it's like it's just hate. It's just a bandwagon type of thing. That's just what happens. But I'm telling you from the bottom of my heart,
okay, you're right.
I did not sneak them kids out of there. It was
Funny Mike was the
Funny Mike did the shit. I got text messages and everything.
He said,
So you have proof.
This must
Yes.
be an aura thing. That's what it is. Because I bandwagon right on that. Right on.
And I see on top of this thing it says I am a father.
Yes, I want to highly state that I'm a
I'm
father.
probably a grown ass man by now. You know, and you know, as a fan of somebody who looks up to Halo, you feel me? I feel away because that like.
Yo, Kai, have Abba and Preach come down. I'm not telling you what to do at all. That's just a suggestion as a producer. But that would be great. Abba and Preach coming on campus, so we can all yam it up and kiki. Ooh, I'm planning on getting in. I'm planning on. So this is a whole thing that they did. So he didn't get like an email or anything. Because I'd love a deny email. Even if I think it's a long shot. Yeah, this is boring stuff, but it is black ingenuity at work. It's astronomical what we're talking about.
You don't understand. I could have had class. I could have been a contender. I could have been somebody. Instead of a bum.
Welcome to TY.
I did. I have my class. I am a competitor. And I am somebody. And it's published to record, bro. You know what I mean? Like, Kai, you know what I mean? All the people around you that have published to record, there's somebodiness, if that's what you want to call it, which now for me, I believe every single human on the planet deserves to feel like they're somebody and like they're important and like the community values and places worth on them outside of the PDF files and people that are objectively harmful to the community. But outside of the people objectively harmful to the community, every single person deserves that value, that worth. And even the people that are rejected, that's the theory, is if they experience that at any point, maybe they wouldn't be harmful to the community. I have experienced value and worth. It's been certainly assaulted at times by the same people who've applied it at times, and that feels terrible. But when it comes to the merit of my own work, this is published to record. And if you want to own this shot, I got a bunch of them. Got a bunch of collectibles of this. And they're all minted on... Oh, 420 ain't bad, dude. That's a steal. Look at that. So shot number 42. Do I have to change? I have to go -12 for this one. That's fine. Oh, -5 hours. I want to see the coolest thing. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Minted August 24th, 2024. So the mint date, the creation date of this asset is 8/24/24. I had the ability, so therefore I have the responsibility. And you can buy this specific edition for $420 around. And this prints at, I want to see it, the size that this prints at. It's gigantic. Look at that. That's the full quality there. Like, pixel painted, by the way. So the like, you know what I mean? Like, I got it. Like, I've been doing graphic design since 2004. I'm an old head in this game. Look, so there's a trace line there. You can see contour trace line on here, over here. So these are choices. These are brush strokes and scratches and filters and applications and know-how and decisions over time. Look at that. Love it. This was a couple of years ago, but I do remember this piece explicitly. I like this one a lot. So anyway, this prints on up to 6-7 feet, and I sell. And then so you buy one, and then you make one. We're co-publishing this supply here. I did the first 50. You guys will do the last 50, and I assume if I make it in the Streamer University, this will probably sell out. Which I needed to, because the guy who did the contract needs to get paid to fix his website. So I can not have, so I don't have to split the contract. Shout out Boogie Cousins. This was hilarious. Did I ever get your game? I must have gotten your game against Spencer Hawes on here, because that was a real funny one. And y'all don't know, DeMarcus really used to be him. We, as in the Kings, everything, the entire Aura community, completely wasted his era, selling his era for social hierarchy against narratives on his person. The original Ayton and Bagley, Scal and Marquise Chris. What a pass from Ty Lawson. Okay. Yeah, see, I could be here all day. So let's get the date and time back, and then we'll talk about the elephant. It's not really an elephant in the room. Okay. So this is our website, letmeout.productions, our publishing studio. Not exactly majorly celebrated, which is fine. I don't want to be majorly celebrated. But we collectively publish our brand as a community garden on the Public Notary. And it's the same way that they are publishing AI structures. Okay, so let's go to the collection, and then let's go to an AI brain. Oops. Hi. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of that. We don't need it. We don't need two angles, chat. I do need another cup of coffee. Okay, so this is our community garden and the Let Me Out Productions brand. And people, this is the public-facing section. There's a privately developed portion of the property, and there's a publicly developed portion of the property. So this is 16% of the brand is publicly published, 84% of the brand is privately published. That creates a 1 to 5.25 proof of labor ratio in the publishing of the brand. So when you get a plot, you put, oh, you know what, I put together a thing on my Instagram. So let's go there, Illinois Digestibles.
Are you establishing an intellectual property? You have an idea for a product, a service, an experience?
The early game is rigged!
The problem is centralized, cost-prohibitive market controls stifle our economy of intellectual property development. Your ideas for products, services, experiences are your intellectual property ready for growth. You have an idea. You want to register it so everyone knows it's your idea. How? We pay for a government employee to throw a rock in a private legitimacy. The rock creates a ripple, the ripple is recorded, registered, proving you came up with your idea. In intellectual property, there are so many rocks that need to be thrown, so many ripples. It's a good idea to pay the government to throw these rocks when you can afford it. This locks most of us out of establishing our ideas on the market. Every intellectual property, once established, can form an ecosystem. In the creator economy, our ecosystem produces products, services, and experiences. It's 2022. Isn't there a public ocean we can use for free to create our ripples and register our ideas? Absolutely. Watch the solution.
How is intellectual property traded? As creatives, we have to get to the bottom of the intellectual property market, how it's traded, and how we participate in the intellectual property market. The market is a funnel. You have a wide end where all of the ideas go, and you have a narrow end of all of the ideas that actually get produced. And the people that run that funnel, in my experience, are mostly talentless people that do nothing to add to the end product. And that funnel extracts 95% of the wealth from the idea and focuses it on the people that are running the funnel. This is where we end up when we transact intellectual property as one unit. That unit goes into the wide end of the funnel, and it may come out the narrow end, but it ain't coming out as yours. And it's going to come out heavily taxed and bastardized. This is just a generic book I'm using for the example because, you know, literature is one of the first forms of transactable intellectual property. So this is intellectual property as one unit. Who owns this intellectual property? Is it the author who created the intellectual property, or is it the publisher who's producing this unit, this hardcover? The answer is it's the publisher who set up the funnel to receive the author's work, turn it into this end product of this book, and now they own the author's work. They have purchased the labor from the author and turned it into a product. That's not a sustainable way to transact intellectual property, and it's not a fair market for us as creators. I'm in my 18th year as a film and digital media producer, and I'm so blessed to be a part of this wonderful entertainment product. The problem is the intellectual property, the way it's defined, the way it's transacted, and how it shapes the labor of the entertainment product. It's an awful situation. This is the solution. Instead of creating, defining, and transacting intellectual property as one unit owned by one party, we can create, define, and transact intellectual property as a puzzle with a hard cap of pieces. This provides a new consumer product in collaborating on the puzzle via owned property, which is cool, And it provides a proof of labor system, an accounting system for labor that goes into an intellectual property. Now, everybody who's contributed can own a piece. It also helps people pay attention to what I have to say when I share the fact that I'm one of James Earl Jones' many grandnephews, grandnieces in the extended family. And our family has brought 90 years of labor to the entertainment product, starting with Robert Earl Jones, a pioneer in the second wave of Hollywood, and, you know, naturally with James Earl Jones, a person you've probably heard of, the voice of Darth Vader, Mufasa, etc. This solution of creating, defining, and transacting intellectual property as a puzzle would mean that my granduncle James would have literally owned as property everything that he's ever worked on. And everything that he's ever worked on would issue him success-based residuals based on what he has generated in terms of labor as ownership, based on his contributions to each puzzle. This is what we're doing going forward. Before I'm a producer of the entertainment product, I'm a cognitive linguist, which is a form of behavioral science. We study and research the creation and delivery of meaning, both as a natural behavior and as an invented tool. So in that context, the creation and delivery of meaning also wraps the creation and delivery of value in labor. And that's where I intersect with my career in intellectual property and my career as a cognitive linguist. This is where they intersect. The behavior of transacting labor is abhorrent in intellectual property. It's so exploitative. From the creator, the creator gets exploited, the labor gets exploited, and the only people who actually enjoy any of the success are the people running the funnel, the publisher, the machine. And that machine needs to stop. It's unfair. It just needs to stop. This is a way better machine. Here's the breakdown of the scalable intellectual property puzzle, which is my model for creating, defining, and transacting intellectual property going forward on the markets. So instead of one unit, we've established it's a puzzle. Now keep in mind that when you have a distributed intellectual property, which is like a beginning, a middle, and an end, you've created that asset, which is the distributed asset, and you've created the franchise in which that distributed asset belongs to. So you've noticed here, the franchise is off the table. The creators, we're not going to transact the franchises anymore. The corporate funnels have proven that they do not have the best interests of the franchises in mind, and it affects product quality. So we are only going to transact the distributed asset. And here's the breakdown for how the distributed asset will transact. The creator owns 30%, publisher owns 35%, the audience is able to own 10%, labor owns 20%, and unions own 5%. What's great about organizing the distributed asset as a puzzle is now you have a hard cap pool of pieces that represent the merit and contribution that go into the puzzle. In a film or a show or any sort of audience experience, you can actually sell 10% of the pieces to the audience to collaborate with, not as investments, but as collaborative intellectual property. So just as you go to the farmer's market and you see somebody building a puzzle at the table and they're selling a piece for 50 cents, you go buy that piece of the puzzle. You put it in the puzzle. You contribute to the puzzle. You own that piece. You write your little initials on the back of it, so when the puzzle's done, you flip it over. Everybody knows who did what. That's the paradigm. That's what we're doing now in intellectual property. So, the puzzle pieces anchor net profit. What's additionally, before I'm a producer, what's awesome about this model is it literally applies to every sector of the economy, because ultimately the labor is wrapped in a product, service, experience, or a brand. That's intellectual property. That intellectual property can be defined as a puzzle with a pool for labor and distribute pieces of the intellectual property to labor to anchor success-based residuals. So what would your life be like if you and your colleagues shared 20% net profit from whatever the hell it is that you do? I'll tell you what, my life would look a lot different. Hell, I've worked on some major properties in my career, and if even just a
a small little anchor of success-based residuals from some of these, like The Bachelor. Oh my goodness, I'm never wanting for food. You feel me? But
True.
we have to
Hell.
we have to launch this behavior from the grassroots. We won't be able to launch scalable intellectual property puzzles as a corporate product. Additionally, this wraps a consumer product into the intellectual property, which for you corporate minds out there actually increases the revenues on average by up to 150% for IP,
True.
which means that the 20% success-based residual to labor is paid for. All y'all have to do is exit the power mechanic of that funnel, which is not producing good product. Any customer can join a brand, product, service, or experience as a collaborating owner because they buy a puzzle piece or several puzzle pieces, and they collaborate in the puzzle according to how those pieces fit. Now, I've been targeted as the pioneer behind this model. People are saying, hey, these are securities. A security is a secure deposit of value that you expect to gain in position or from a passive revenue stream. That's not what these are. It's a collaborative piece of property. It's a puzzle piece.
Anyway. Let's go to the precedent setting publishing. Because this, like, I'm saying that blockchain is a publishing tool for producers to maximize their intellectual property. So here's the fifth piece of our brand, Let Me Out Productions number 5, the MEH token. And it was originally registered for ownership on March 31st, 2021. Okay? So then we go to Bored Ape number 0. Get this back to light, actually. And this is April 22nd, 2021. So I know people have a hard time telling time. I get it. No, don't do that. Ugh. We watched that. But March 31st, 2021 comes before April 22nd, 2021. And I do have a science degree, so I'm not a hobbyist. I'm a credentialed scientist publishing a scientific result in the field of linguistics and the communication and of the collaboration of value. Does that make sense? So my precedent needs to be respected. It's not a celebrity contest. It's not a popularity contest. It's not a clout contest. It's not a value contest. These guys gambled on their publishing potential. I need analytics, and I need all time. Okay, so here's your all-time record, and you can see from the time that they began, April 30th, 2021, these things were $400. And then you fast forward, let's go to a year later, because it's about peak. A year later, they're $2.7 million average. And well, I'm looking at volume. The average sale price is $289,000. So in a year, they go from $440 to $289,000, and by that, and this is 57,000 trades. So I would believe that most of those trades would have happened in the first bit of time here, the first third of this chart. Certainly during the pump, and certainly during the sale. And you can see some mini pumps here, and every single time there's a pump, there's an exit, and that's what happens in crypto. So just be careful when you're riding an 10x or something like that. there's going to be a massive exit because the whole thing is being pumped for that massive exit, and that's what people are gambling on, is their positions in that exit. There's going to be people that eat shit every time. This is just not the way to trade on publishing. It's just not the way to do it. So the fact that it's the antecedent and we're the precedent, March 2021 comes before April 2021, means that co-publishing, here you complete 15 results per publishing title. Each of the results are unique to the co-publisher. So first you launch your own co-publishing vessel. Second, you make your own piece of the supply. Third, you manage the co-publisher rights through the Top Rat style. Fourth, you have access to all the content we produce. Not all, but content that we've made in the past and the content that we have coming out for exclusive looks, etc. Tier number 5 is get swag. Who doesn't like swag? Tier number 6 is ownership assignment of the brand. Tier 7 is make stuff with the art that you receive title to, merchandise and artistic derivatives, etc. You can identify as a part owner of Let Me Out Productions and part of the top brass that runs Let Me Out Productions. Each piece is a story world seed, so it's meant to help you grow a puzzle structured property. Further commitment to publishing means that you grow in authority and earnings from our bounty program. So that's called Collection Benchmark Achievements. We have custody insurance built into the program. We have personal agency deeds built into the program. Right to pitch. So in case you want us to be the production house of your completed asset, that's fine, but we all pitch for that. There's a certain amount of spots once we get to that scale. Shared marks of trade and non-disclosure agreement that everybody has when they're developing their puzzle structured properties. So it's myself, Aaron, and Nick that are the founders of this operation. We have a number of publications that are available for co-publishing. So we are pioneers in the use of blockchain as a publishing tool, and nobody wants to report on us because everybody wants to transact social hierarchy and react again in their emotional feelings against what these people published and ignore us completely in order to maintain and justify that, which is the most asinine dog shit thing you could do. It's just it's unhuman. It's inhuman. It's completely inhuman. Well, you guys want to see what that looks like in person? Okay. Let's let this guy rip for a little bit, because I got 20 minutes before I got to pack up and get going to my doctor's thing. Oh my god, my shoulders. Okay. So now you guys know I'm the president.
Friend of the show, Paris Hilton.
Did I ever finish that TYT community thing? It's here. I come from Young Turks back in the day. I actually precede Hassan Piker at Young Turks back in the day.
IT community, this is the second episode ever. My name is Kimani David. I'm the Young Turks Community Ambassador. And with me today, we have Jeff Waldorf and Kevin Wayne.
My name is Jeff Waldorf. I have a blog at another progressive blog. Blogspot.com.
I'm Kevin Wayne. I have also have a blog. It's veritynation.wordpress.com. TYT community member. I'm from Florida.
All right, guys. Good to have you. This past week, we had the Democratic National Convention.
Okay, so that's prehistoric streaming and chat. October 24th, 2012. Right, so that's... And then if you want to see me on the main show, I only did a couple things here and there. Chime in with comments and stuff, but there's a bit of a sketch that we did.
We have a correspondent at the edge of the earth. And so let's just check in with him and see if, in fact, the globe is a sphere or if there is a wall to be protected. It's not the wall, it's not the stars, it's the Dothrakis!
It is known that the earth is flat.
So what's behind you?
Behind me, there is a wall of ice that goes up to space.
But why would there be a wall of ice if you're in Dothraki and you're in a Dothraki field?
I am near the Dothraki Sea.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
Yes.
Are you a Khal?
My name is Kalmani.
That's the only self-tape I need. Throw me in Hollywood. Let's go. Yeah? Let's kill it. What is it? Last of Us. Let's go. See, SAG, sign me up. Put me in the guild. There it is. Kalmani. Woo! Okay. So now we've I come from TYT. That was my undergrad to professional official transition platform. I did some things in New York while I was an undergrad. Like I moved to New York this summer between my junior and senior year, and I did summer and fall there. Time of my life. One of the times of my life. The other time was when I moved to Buenos Aires and did sort of the same thing. My lore is lore, baby. I'll go back to Buenos Aires tomorrow. I'll go back to Argentina tomorrow. Put me on a plane. Dude, they'll love co-publishing. All right, so this is a scientific precedent in the use of blockchain as a tool for collective publishing, and not gambling on publishing potential and flipping the publishing titles as real estate plots. Okay, so we have publishing title number 5 of 500,000 total and 5 of 80,000 public facing. March 31st, 2021. This is mislabeled, so in the label up here it has the decimal points labeled incorrectly, and maybe in a couple of the properties. No, actually the properties are fine. Yeah, so this decimal needs to be here. There's 3 zeros and a 2. That was a copy pasta mistake that I made off of a spreadsheet, and I didn't catch it before 23 of them had moved. So I was able to change it for the rest of them, but 23 of them have that mistake, which is perfect because we own our mistakes. And this is a great example of public notarization. This is notarized. I cannot change this. This is not editable. I can't delete it. That's that. So that mistake is there for all to see, and if that is invalidating, it's not contractual. In the deed that forms the property, that the assignment is 0.0002%. So in the actual legally defined, the deed that legally defines what Let Me Out Productions is as a property, that assignment is 1/500,000th of ownership to this publishing title. But you guys can watch.
The Let Me Out Productions team and.
I did a lot of work explaining this over and over and over again, so...
Y'all didn't? Afterward. That's the precedent. Let Me Out Productions is a brand. It's an intellectual property. It's a shared property of 500,000 plots. 16% are for public, they're the public-facing publication, and 84% are the proof of labor system. That creates a 1 to 5.25 proof of labor ratio in our brand. That means for every one plot that is developed by a co-publisher from the public, 5.25 plots are developed by private laborers, people that are hired to work for the platform. It's pretty cool. If you've never heard of that before, because that doesn't exist. But this is the precedent. Shared property. These are publishing titles. They title what's within them as property. They title what can be further expressed as property. In some cases, that might be nothing. In some cases, they're just units of account for what you've published into the build. And you are a co-publishing owner in the precedent. Y'all didn't boycott anything. You did not boycott anything. You didn't boycott blockchain. You didn't boycott NFTs. What you did do is you boycotted me winning from my own work. But you didn't boycott blockchain or NFTs. You're using both of those things. Okay? Your account on Instagram, your account on Facebook, your Gmail account, every single one of these has a blockchain address. And across from that blockchain address, you're contributing, you're publishing data shards, publishing titles, into a data collection, a shared property. They've bastardized the publishing method to data scrape everybody. And if you think about it this way, I'm the first person they data scraped because they had to take the publishing method away from me, change a few terms to eliminate your publishing rights, and then apply it to you without you knowing, while you pretend that you hate the entire underlying technology because Hassan Piker told you to. Period. The scientific precedent is Let Me Out Productions and the notarized co-publishing of an intellectual property asset, where it's a shared property composed of publishing titles and a puzzle structure or a community garden structure, where every owner is a co-publishing owner of said property. The publishing title publishes its contents as property, and it publishes what it can further express as property. So the purchaser or a hired laborer that is earning a publishing title will apply or will have applied time, liability, and expertise to rights process to create a result. To rights and process to create a result, forming impact that they're putting into the build. This is a scientific antecedent, which means it came after our work, with musical bears included. This came after us by 3 weeks in notarized co-publishing. It's a brand being co-published by a collection of publishing titles. They released all 10,000 at once, and it resulted in corporate real estate style flipping, where they pumped the line of their collection. And what is their brand? They're bored. They're degenerate gamblers. They call themselves apes. That's what ape means in internet lingo, I suppose. When you ape into something, you're betting on it heavy. So it's a degenerate gambler. And they're collectively publishing a yacht club. And they pumped their line, and now it's a dead camel. Okay? That behavior's done. This is done and over with. This launched over a year after we launched. This was like summer of 2022. Okay, the publishing method is the exact same. Okay, it's the exact same thing. But here, they're telling you what they're doing. It's a data campaign collection. Instead of a publishing title, which denotes property, it's a data shard. And instead of you being a co-publishing owner, you're a contributor. And guess what? This is what you're doing already. This is what you're doing. This is what every single account is doing. If you're using a main corporate account on anything at all, this is what's happening. Your account has a blockchain address, a 0x string code, blah, 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 blah. And you are contributing data shards into a collection that they are then commercially expressing into AI. Corporations taking my publishing method, bastardizing it, and regurgitating it as, again. Now, corporations taking my publishing...
Okay, hold on a minute. Okay, so you guys, every journalist in the world has ignored this and ignored this. The collective publishing of our brand, piece by piece, title by title. One public-facing piece makes the next piece. That's why we don't do wide release. We're not here chasing a line. We're not here pumping a line. We price a specific way so that way people don't gamble. These pieces are all incredibly discounted, especially considering how the business works. What's usually the published result that comes from a studio like ours would pay an agency rate of 35% or more of that published result to the studio. We're saying you can buy a piece of our brand and own the piece of our brand, publish results from the piece of that brand over and over and over and over and over and over and over again because it's your property, and we will never seek rent on your results. The only time that we will be a 35% weight on your result is if you seek that relationship with Let Me Out Productions as a primary studio, like A24. And that is our quality standard that we're aiming for when we do hi-fi stuff. Right now, We don't only have resources to do lo-fi stuff, so we're saying to the market, this is what we have resources to do. Enjoy. I'm also a phenomenal graphic artist. I will pat myself on the back. Anyway, so you can read about it. You can go here. Let me put this in chat, because this would really help me out if y'all would buy a couple of these today. And then you go to the about. Make sure you join the Discord. It's all everything's linked here. It's right here, LMO server. Just join that Discord link. And then once you're on Discord, you verify your property. Once you verify your property, you have access to the top brass DAO, and then you can publish every single result that's on this title. You can do that on your own, or you can call me up. I'm here. I'm ready to work. So this is what I do. And instead of doing it for corporate, I'm doing it for you. Okay, I used to do it for places like this, which wasn't bad, but these are giant catalogs that make millions of dollars, and I've seen the per unit earnings, the per unit net profit across from these pieces, and I'm saying, yeah, if we add a little bit of publishing to it, a little bit of art to it, and we publish limited lines, then we can share the yield of these transactions honestly with the artists that are co-publishing them. We're doing 50% because we don't have a fiduciary obligation to shareholders. So these guys probably didn't. This is a long time ago. This brand doesn't exist anymore. But yeah. So let me talk about my degrees real quick. My bachelor's is in film and digital media production, which it's not a science degree in linguistics, but it is a linguistic-ish degree. We study a lot of crossover between film and digital media production and the actual field of linguistics. So I do have a minor in linguistics, specifically with a focus on phonetic analysis. And my two associates I have an Associates of Science and Behavioral Science and an Associates of Arts and Liberal Arts. So if the AS in Behavioral Science isn't enough for me to publish a scientific result in human behavior and the communication of value in property creation, it's enough for me to apply to a PhD program. You understand? It's enough for me to apply to a PhD program and form theses to shop to the program. But it's not enough to form a proof in one of those theses. I can load that for you. Kai, look how charismatic I am. This is what I was talking about in the last video. Alright? Look, it's number 2. Traditional property, fragments, labor, fixed cap, impact puzzles, notarized NFTs as publishing titles, use modular measured co-ownership to create a fair linguistic structure for value creation and distribution. So publishing property as a puzzle establishes an equitable language of labor value. Thesis number 2. Publishing property as a puzzle establishes an equitable language of labor value. And then further than that, you guys should look up Adam Smith's labor theory of value. In fact, let's just... Adam Smith's labor theory of value posits the value of a commodity is determined by the amount of labor required to produce it. He distinguished between labor commanded, which measures value based on what labor can be exchanged for, and labor embodied, which focuses on the labor that goes into production. Now, think about that, okay? And then think about an accounting system for that exact principle. An accounting behavior, a human accounting behavior. And think about me as a behavioral scientist that has established...
You don't understand.
I'm putting this feather in my cap. This is something I'm proud of. When we're talking about TYT community, this is Streaming Chat-Interactive Deliverables, where you have a host, the same as what we see with Hassan here, and he's interacting with chat and doing clip outs for the YouTube farm. Here, my chat is on screen with me. because we didn't have these tools built into the technology. So I'm using Google Hangouts. I'm plugged in from I think it was a Mac Mini into a Stratocaster. And then I built my own chyrons. These are actually pretty fire. These are great. So I built my own chyrons, 2012 style, and then loaded those in, and then I managed the broadcast. And then I clipped it out, and then we started doing the programming. So we weren't the only people doing clip out deliverables on YouTube. That's what TYT's whole business model was. So that's like, I'm derivative of that. I'm part of the studio. I'm not trying to claim anything else. But what I'm saying is that at the time, we weren't doing chat. That wasn't a thing. I'm not saying I introduced it to the zeitgeist, but let's listen to what Hassan Piker has to say about collectively publishing with publishing titles on the public.
Friend of the show, Paris Hilton. Let's take a look at what she had to say.
I jumped in.
I know, I heard. I'm so happy I taught you what they were.
You did. You taught me what's up, and then I bought an ape.
Is this a gem?
I heard. I'm so happy I taught you what they were.
You did. You taught me what's up, and then I bought an ape.
Is this a gem?
I got an ape too because I saw you on the show with people, and you said you got a moon.
The scientific precedent.
And I copied you and did the same thing.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
This is disgusting. This is disgusting. These are like, these apes are straight up trying to fucking milk their audience, dude. That's it. There's nothing. This is an ad. This is a hashtag ad. And the hashtag ad is basically saying, hey, give me your money, dumbass. Give me your fucking money, you stupid fuck. That's what this hashtag ad is. I hate it. I hate it. I hate cryptocurrency so much. I hope all these rich people lose all their money. I'm sorry. I hate crypto. I fucking hate the NFT shit. I hate the apes. They're such transparent fucking Ponzi schemes. I hate it so much. I'm going to end up watching that 2-hour folding ideas video. Like, that's how much I fucking hate it. You know what I mean? It just makes me so angry. People try to act like they're going to really help out the creator economy. It's going to revitalize it. It's going to revolutionize the creator economy. It's like, it's not. It's a Ponzi scheme, okay? It's a Ponzi scheme for an ugly duck or an ugly ape that they fucking copy paste. It's created by people that don't know anything about fucking art. It is disgusting. And also on top of that, like, the art space has always been very fucking elitist, very insular, and also been used as a way to fucking hide your assets, okay? As a way to as a way to do tax evasion, for sure. But now, these dumbasses went and made it even more gnarly, okay? The one thing that was good about the art was at least it's supposed to make you feel something, okay? It's supposed to make you feel emotions. It's supposed to be, like, captivating. It's supposed to be cool. These apes are everything but that, okay? All of these fucking NFTs are so disgusting. It's quite literally a copy paste. I don't know how else to describe it. They literally are just doing copy paste, same fucking ape face, but like with different clothing. What's going on? It's not art. That's not art at all.
This is your
mine.
ape. We debuted.
It's really cool.
Hot.
Like the hat, the shades.
It's really cool. No, it's not. It's not. It's not really cool. It's literally, you're an idiot. Like, someone says that this is worth $7 gorillion, okay? So then others are like, yeah, it's actually worth $7 gorillion. And that someone is like 90% of the time, that someone is the person who owns it, okay? Can you imagine running around, no appraisals whatsoever, nothing. Like, there's no...
Okay, that's enough of that. That's enough of that. He does that for 30 minutes. He never brings up any information at all. So every time we do this, we have to rinse our brains from Hassan fraud, and we have to go in and we have to act, look at the plain information. Okay? So, real quick, because I'm gonna have to get going to this doctor's appointment. Okay, so look, a block. Let's do it this way. Let's put you over here, and let's go look at these principles while we're talking about them. I'll give myself an extra 10 minutes. Okay, a block is a simultaneously registered stack of user/software transactions notarized, which means it's provided with impartial witness, which you were part of. This block, 12,150,433, which is the block that my original filing is in, March 31st, 2021 at 5:46 p.m. Pacific time, has 211 transactions and 49 software transactions, so like automated bot transactions on the network. These were notarized, provided with impartial witness for all to see and authenticate. The chain is the chronological record of blocks in the order they're recorded. So 433 goes to 434. This happens 8 milliseconds after, with 175 transactions stamped and 59 contract software transactions stamped. So in terms of like data network processing, that's what we're talking about. Okay? Encrypted data network processing.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Hot.
Like the hat, the shades.
It's really cool. No, it's not. It's not. It's not really cool. It's literally, you're an idiot. Like, someone says that this is worth $7 gorillion, okay? So then others are like, yeah, it's actually worth $7 gorillion. And that someone is like 90% of the time, that someone is the person who owns it, okay? Can you imagine running around, no appraisals whatsoever, nothing. Like, there's no value to it at all. It's quite literally something you could copy paste, okay? Right click save, which they actually do. And then you're just like, you're pumping it. You're pumping it every time. You're shilling it every time. You're like, come on, join my fucking timeshare. Join my fucking idiotic, dumbass fucking Ponzi scheme. Please join it. Join it. Join in on the fun. No, guess what's going to happen to you, okay? You dumbass. Guess what's going to happen to you, the fucking retail trader? You want to know what's going to happen to you? You're going to get fucked. You're going to get ass fucked by those gorillas, okay? They are going to ass fuck you. You are going to be caught holding the fucking bag. You are not going to the moon. You know who's going to the moon? Whoever fucked you beforehand, okay? And you know who's going to the moon?
Okay, shut up. I can't do it. It's an energy efficient data processing network. That's basically the long and the short of this. So block simultaneously registers stack of user transactions. The chain is a chronological record of blocks in the order in the order they're recorded. The crypto portion just means that it's encrypted authentication of the event or the existence. So when we're saying it's mined by, that means it's stamped by a node of users. This could be 100,000 devices like phones and computers across the world that are stamping every single transaction, registration, transfer of value, transfer of publishing title on this network. So I'm just doing my job as a behavioral scientist, publishing results and describing the results. I'm not a fancy highbrow level. I'm fledgling in the game and I'm applying into a PhD program. I didn't think I'd be competing in the science with gambling, but hey, that is what it is. All right, so I did feel like we missed out on value capture, especially when it comes to information. And hell, I'd probably be sitting on a few million without this sort of slop going on. Sorry, Jeff, not you. This idiot misusing this vehicle of TYT community, that's what he's doing. That's his whole career. To sell disinformation against collective publishing on the blockchain, which would probably really help the value of using blockchain because people would on board en masse to do collective publishing and build infrastructure around that. I'm expected to lead the market with infrastructure, and I've never been a software engineer in my life. And I've had one installment of resources that probably could have led to software, but I had to get away from the people that were literally holding me hostage. They were holding me in a room against my will, using my health issues to keep me there. It was a nightmare. I shudder to think about it. Ugh. Okay. So, can we not slaughter the precedent for sanctimony, which is the illusion of moral social superiority, and the brain state of serotonin, dopamine, and epinephrine cycling through your neural pathways? Can we not sacrifice the precedent for sanctimony against the antecedent? We are co-publishing this property of Let Me Out Productions using a community garden / puzzle structure on the notary. The NFT forms publishing title. It's not some abstract concept you don't know about. It is what I just said. The NFT forms publishing title. It is what I just said. So, I've been saying for the longest time that if this isn't enough to then publish a scientific result, when you have a degree, I've added the U for fun, by the way. When I have a degree in the science of behavioral science and I'm establishing a published result in human behavior, if this isn't enough, and you want to shift the benchmarks away because it's only a 2-year degree. You only have a minor in linguistic in phonetic analysis, which is, if you think about it, is the analysis of modular units of sound in communication. So, within these credentials, I study cognitive linguistics, and that's my field. So I'm a cognitive linguist. And should my theses be successful or prove of interest, or should Scotland win the World Cup, I will have a paid for program admissions at University of Aberdeen for my PhD. So I hope getting into Streamer University would be a sort of another undergrad degree to add to the credentials that I present to University of Aberdeen. Okay. The world is run by a bunch of billionaires that don't have any degrees at all, and people just listen and follow those people carte blanche. And here, I'm doing my job within my field, and these are 4 degrees, but they're not fancy degrees. And University of Santa Cruz and Sierra College, hey, I consider UC Santa Cruz a West Coast Ivy, so y'all can sleep on that like a mattress if you want. But anyway, my credit list goes back to my comfortable credit list goes back to 2010. Well, I probably could add the high school stuff because of the performance, the virality of it. I think that counts. But a lot of it's community service oriented, That's where my work is done. So yeah, these things publish results across from 15 things that you do. If you don't want to publish our brand and help the precedent, then don't. That's okay, but that's what's happening. You can go on our website and check that out. It's all here. It's the same exact layout on the store and on the website. Except for I put a bear on Sarah's face on our website. Because the Lost Bears lost at sea. I'd probably put that same image on the thing. Okay, so the value of a commodity is determined by the amount of labor required to produce it. So the value of a Lego kit is required by the amount of Legos required to produce the Lego kit and the amount of effort it requires to place those Legos in the right place. Does that make sense? So this is just Lego kit accounting for that effort in intellectual property and ideas and abstraction. Okay, I'm getting to my 10-minute window, so let's close it out with...
This is a scientific antecedent, which means it came after our work, with musical bears included. This came after us by 3 weeks in notarized co-publishing. It's a brand being co-published by a collection of publishing titles.
Let's get to the point, brother.
The 5th plot,
I've already made these points.
The 9th bear in Musical Bears was the first bear ever moved on the public notary as well. So this one sold. It's the first piece of property we ever sold on the public notary on March 28th, 2021 at 2:16 p.m. my time, Pacific time. So these are the 2 historic establishment points of notarized co-publishing. Gambling on publishing potential launched 3 weeks later. So in terms of tool use in the...
By the way, I want to point out to journalists, this is so easy to point out. You don't have to act based on what happened to these guys like you're blowing us up. That is the wrong reaction. You just need to report newsworthy information to the public. That is your job. Your job is not to politicize it or to advance analyze it and try to say, oh, well, if we report newsworthy information, then Let Me Out Productions might see a market boost. That's what happens when newsworthy information around technology and innovation hits the market. That's what happens. So we're talking about an entirely different use case and presentation of this technology, and we are the precedent, and you refuse to report on it. Do you know what that is? It's called conspiracy to limit competition. You can't do that. You can't do what Hassan Piker's doing. Actually, I did want to cover this. I have to absolutely get out of here by 9:40. And I needed to clean a little bit. Where is that? Is that in this chat? Or is it in this chat? Yeah. Okay, so let's look at what Hassan Piker has done. Monopolization of the information stage. Section 2 of the Sherman Act prohibits the willful acquisition or maintenance of monopoly power through exclusionary conduct rather than growth as a consequence of a superior product, business acumen, or historic accident. In the modern media landscape, distribution and commentary holds immense market power. When a dominant broadcaster uses that power to create an absolute informational monopoly over how our technology is perceived, they are engaging in exclusionary conduct. Hassan Piker. Suppression of a competitor, because he blocked me. I tried to express this to him, and he blocked me. He banned me on Twitch. He blocked me on Twitter. So I don't give it. He's a bad person, and he lies to his audience because what I'm doing is objectively socialism, and he was too stupid to understand that socialized authenticity and a public notary tool that can then socialize Lego kit builds of property, which seizes the means of production and distributes it to the labor building the production. Bull. He's too stupid to understand that that can be authenticated with decentralized consensus maintained by everybody's phone and the computers that they already have, which is how these nodes work on Ethereum and Ethereum virtual machine networks. So learn about these things. Don't be anti-curious because Hassan sold you sanctimony, the illusion of moral and social superiority. It's my second thesis, by the way. Oh no, that's my first thesis, is that sanctimony is an addictive brain state. It's dopamine, serotonin, and epinephrine cycling at the same time in neural pathways. It creates a leverage-seeking default behavior. So every communication, even your consumption of me, for example, you're seeking leverage over my value, over interpreting my value, and you will find it. I will give it to you. So that's like, I don't care about that. I'm not here to maintain an illusion that I have the leverage over you. I think it's a stupid conversation to begin with. I want information. I'm curious about information. I grew up where people I don't know what's happening right now, but the information is deteriorating, and this is why. Sorry, Jeff. I've done it twice now. Poor Jeff. Everybody go follow Jeff Waldorf. He's maintaining TYT community to this day. He rebranded it as the logical leftist to get it separate into his own sovereign expression, which I really appreciate. So this guy is doing streaming Chat-Interactive Deliverables to deliberately harm and sell disinformation against the origins of collective publishing, which come from a TYT alum, like a colleague. We didn't work at the same time. I don't think I've ever met him. Tells me that he did like a 2-week thing out at TYT when I was there. I don't remember that. I don't remember that at all. Anyway, so yeah, let's get back to. So watch my story at LMO Digestibles on Instagram. There's panels I want to show.
Lord, next time you bring me love, let it be holy. There's a place.
Okay, I can hit spacebar. Okay, so let's talk about this. This is number 71 of our brand, and it's been published into a brand called Pan-African United Community Advocacy. And Kai, I have a piece for you. I have a piece of the brand for you. I have a piece of Paka for you. You don't have to publicize it at all. But your family, as far as I'm concerned, the way that you lead the market and getting people involved and framing their publishing and maximizing their people. This is Pocket.org. You guys can go check out their co-publishing effort there. So it's the same thing. You buy a piece of the digital property and you express it into the brand and you own that piece. You're not gambling on potential. You're expressing the property as a piece of what's being published together. Shared property. Or you could be or you can contribute a data shard to a data campaign collection. That's the alternative. You will be using blockchain. Like, no, let me say it that way. You are using blockchain. You have accounts on Instagram, Facebook, Google for YouTube, Google in general. Every single account that you have on anything major and corporate, and don't believe you me, even the small sites that you use that you think are small, like Tumblr and stuff. Is that still a thing? But like, they're selling their data too. So what we're publishing to all these things are not. I told. Where did I find? Okay. We can go look directly at it. This is ownership and authority over what's expressed into a result within the terms of this property. There are terms on most property. Think of, a well-shaped, a well-published brand should have guidelines. You don't want people publishing. We don't want people publishing our brand into adult content, for example. Did I get banned from this site? That'd be so funny. What's going on? Interesting.
Lord, next time you bring me love, let it be whole.
What is going on? Story might be down. Okay, whatever.
Righteous and pure. Lord, next time you bring me joy, let it surround me from above. I just wanna see you clearly in all that I do.
There's a place I go to where no one knows me. It's not lonely.
This is when you buy a publishing title, you publish your own piece of the brand. So when we're looking at what the brand looks like as a community garden, I'm not every piece of art here, which is great. And it's not generated art. They're hand-painted pieces. The solid colors are a holographic line. I'm just telling you that off the bat. Because that's our joke. We're lo-fi. We like the lo-fi here. So the first piece co-published is like this one here, 298. 298, 299, 300, 303, 321, 405. Those are all co-publisher pieces that have been contributed to the puzzle. So you can buy one of those pieces, but they split the sale 50-50. So 299 would sell for 505 right now, and that would split 50-50 with the co-publisher, which would be great. I would love to. They're in Europe right now, so I'm sure they'd love to get $250. Here you go. They're in France, I believe. So here's $250 to spend. Yeah. So here, chat. Somebody get this piece. So when you publish a piece into the supply, know that it's not a guaranteed sale. It will be listed when the window accommodates its position on the schedule. So this one had to wait a little bit, and now the window has accommodated the schedule. And there's no guarantee that this will ever sell. Somebody would have to want to spend an original Bored Ape price on the original co-publishing brand, because those were $440 in April of 2021. Or sorry, May of 2021. Or was it June? Yeah, no, it was May of 2021. No, April 30th, 2021, $440 for a publishing title in the Bored Apes. So this is number 298 of Let Me Out Productions for $505 right now. Right now. Like today. Not gambling. You're not going to sell this at $1,000. You're not going to sell this at $20,000. I'm not saying it'll ever be worth $20,000. We try to protect the entry of the market into our brand as much as possible, while allowing for natural market maturation and for the market to speak on these things if so desired. But yeah, some people bought their pieces for hella cheap. Look at this one, $18. Has somebody purchased for $18? They've not done any of this. Sorry, number 18. Who is this? Toronto Cinema? Oh, I like that guy a lot. But he hasn't done any of this. He hasn't expressed the property.
I just realized I left my favorite hat at the club last night, which is ticking me right off, cause I had that cap, so it's real small. Then find out just right now that my main squeeze went through my phone. Ooh, so I guess I'm single now. Imagine that. So I sneak right on the tee. The conductor sees me, he's kicking me right off. With a frown I grab my bag and I walk on. Calm have I hit up Blanchard's, they sell cheap wine. I got $6 bag, whip, wine, smack.
I love Big D the Kiss takeaway. All right, so I went to the DAO. This is where people manage their publishing rights as co-publishers of the brand. So we have everything separated into guild, service guild, event management. I'm not going to break down the DAO, actually. This is a trade secret. Yeah, I screenshotted it. Hurdy. Let me finish my thoughts on Hassan real quick. Sherman antitrust, monopolization of the information stage by only presenting Bored Ape Yacht Club and blocking me when I tried to teach my precedented contrast. He'd already come up with his narrative. He was selling social hierarchy using his narrative, and he could not be reasoned with. By the way, that is fraud. You cannot do that. This is what I'm explaining. The FTC Act, unfair methods of competition, deceptive acts or practices affecting commerce. He's systematically represented an entire technical framework. Crypto and NFTs and blockchain. I hope all these rich people lose all their money. I would be homeless in the gutter right now if it weren't for my client, okay? That's what you did to the market. By framing it exclusively as a financial scam, as a deceptive practice that inflicts direct economic injury on legitimate businesses like co-publishers that are using NFTs as publishing titles that precede the gambling idiocy. And I do consider the gambling pumping as idiocy. I would never do that, but I didn't do that, as proven. I was in the market at the same time and straight up did not participate in that. So it is what it is. When this misrepresentation occurs on a mass scale to an audience of millions, it artificially restricts the competitive viability of the alternative models like our co-publishing. It's not alternative. Sorry, it's the precedent. Okay? I don't care what the press presented to the world to sell social hierarchy and sanctimony as a sensation to get the dopamine influenced click. And now we can't have information exist anymore. I gotta get going, otherwise I'm gonna be late. So this is the main thing here, is the tortuous and for interference prospective economic advantage. Look, I think there's two angles to this. There's an angle where Hassan is afraid that the internet will find out that he's that TYT community is a product that precedes him at TYT, and then connects dots there and be like, oh, you're derivative of TYT community. I've never even said that. I think that I'm looking at it from his perspective. He might be afraid of me blowing up for being a precedent setter in the co-publishing of a brand, so he's hiding, which is not something you can do. This isn't legal. It's a lot more laws than this, but anyway. So, like I said, I don't think I've ever met him, but I think he knows of me and of my work, obviously, and he doesn't want people to perceive the intersection, so he hid it behind a sanctimonious tantrum he sold against Bored Apes to make people anti-curious against information. This is exactly what that is. So if he ends up in prison, it won't be for anything related to Israel. It'll be because he fucked with co-publishing, with selling sanctimonious garbage as news, and calling himself a journalist wearing press across his chest. This is an insult. It's disgusting. And every other journalist should be ashamed of themselves. You're supposed to report newsworthy information to the public, and you can't do it. You're unable to do it. You're too busy wanting to look cool, and that's really what this is all about. So Hassan made this look stupid. He made it look stupid. I know it looks stupid on its own, but in terms of international narrative about what an NFT is, about the human behavior of using a non-fungible token to do anything at all, Hassan took it over and raped it. He made it his own thing. He made it subject, he enslaved it. He made it subject to himself and his interpretation, which was all based on sanctimony, which is epinephrine, serotonin, and dopamine-driven behavior. So he's governed by it. He's seeking leverage over everything that he's consuming. We're all sick of it. Every adult with a brain in their skull is sick of it. We're sick of this clown. He's a clown. And then here he's completely damaged our market. Because that's so funny. Does it work on Chrome? Fine. Fuck off with the tab. Oh my god. I might have IP blocked me. That's so funny. What? That's absolutely. I'll get to the bottom of that later. No, what? I'm on the Wi-Fi pass. What are you even talking about? Okay, it doesn't matter. I have a video. So, this is, again, a corporate data campaign collection. They are using data shards. I'm going to use my language. It's a shared property that's meant to be owned by everybody who's contributing to the property. So contributing is the right word, but what are we contributing? Effort into our own titled plot. Okay? So they're calling a shared property, what is meant to be a shared property in our language, a data campaign collection, which a collection is one property, one unit owned by them. The publishing title becomes a data shard, and the co-publishing owner becomes a contributor. So this is what's happening. This is what's happening right now. This is just what's happening. Every single upload, every single, like when we're recorded, when we're walking around and our phone is just like recording us, that's what it's doing. And this is what it's feeding to the various machines that are collecting these things and then expressing them into the commercial AI markets. And we're not getting our residuals. We don't have options of where things are expressed. So just like on the Pokemon Go thing, I think I downloaded that. I don't know if it's readily available. Okay. On the Pokemon Go thing, that's now viral, where Niantic sold everybody's published walkarounds to where do they sell it? To some AI company that's now working with drones that blow people up. So everybody who played Pokemon Go in a certain region basically mapped that region for drone strikes. Did you want to opt in? Like, do you want to have authority over which? Like, I'll tell you what. Company ownership tokens, the pieces that make up Let Me Out Productions, they don't. These things don't result in drone strikes. No, their network must be down. It can't be an IP thing. Okay, these result in other properties shaped on this structure. They result in new pieces of the brand. They result in governance of the brand and within a certain way within the DAO. They result in content access and culture. They result in swag. They result in actual property ownership, which is why what makes it a shared property. The result in the right to, like, if you want to put this on a shirt or a car magnet like I did, or you're inspired by the colors and the art to make your own expression of the art and you want to sell that, go for it. You can do derivatives of the specific piece. In fact, we're talking about it right here. You have the right to identify as a part owner of Let Me Out Productions, a co-publisher of the Let Me Out Productions brand, part of the top brass that runs Let Me Out Productions. Each piece of these is a story world scene, so they all have really cool names. And if you're looking at the names and the traits, you might be like, oh yeah, let's do this as a co-publishing thing together. Yeah, and that could be a way of launching yourself into co-publishing, is just by throwing yourself in blindly to a piece, maximizing the name. You can't see any of these on stream probably, but when you're on Instagram, you can see them. And then and go from there. When you commit further to co-publishing, like you buy one title, you're at a certain tier in the DAO of governance and bounty issuance. When you have 7, you unlock a new tier. When you have 27, you unlock a new tier, so on and so forth. So we reward further commitment to people that really want to get involved and publish this at a deeper level. We have custody insurance. People can't be scammed out of pieces. It's digital, so it's easy to, in the deed and also in the ecosystem, to be like, okay, so somebody lost, like somebody clicked on a bad link and got their wallet drained, which happens. Don't do that. You have to click on a bad link and then sign the transaction, so it's like a couple different layers of bad security on your part. And don't get me wrong, it's pretty, but that's why you got to get comfortable with your own market behavior. So if you're looking for get rich quick, that's how to fall for scams really easily. If you're looking just to notarize and publish together, you won't fall for scams. So, but yeah, if somebody were to authentically lose like their piece, we would kill it from our record and then reassign the piece. We can't just do that though. It's within the way the property works that there's certain conditions upon which that can occur, but there's no way that there's no body that's over here that's like, oh, well, we want to kill piece 7 just because we don't like this person. That's not how it works. And the DAO handles violations of publishing. So if somebody were to try to publish their piece and do adult content, for example, then the way that violated our property bylaws, the governance community would handle that. That's personal agency deed templates. I don't have time to talk about that, but yeah, register your personal agency as property. So look into it. I did a whole series on it. And we have a template for around $50-$60 for that right now. And then you have a right to pitch for us as primary house on your property. We have the shared marks of trade in our property. And then we have a non-disclosure agreement. So with that said, I need to get going. I have a doctor's appointment in 30 minutes. You know, I already pushed my get up and go. So, yeah. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. Kai Sanat. Even if you don't accept me into Streaming University, on account of all talking about what I do as a business, teaching collective publishing, that's okay. But I encourage the thought of it because, you know, I am bringing graduate approaching work in cognitive linguistics to the stage. Oh, there it is. Just close that. Pokemon Go data was used to train an AI model that may be used to help helping military that may be put to use helping U.S. military drones and robots navigate war zones. The game awarded players points if they took a short video of them scanning certain points of interest as they walked around. In total, 30 billion of these scans were uploaded. And how are they uploaded and organized? Collective publishing model on a structure. That's how they're uploaded and organized. Okay. That's how they're uploaded and organized. We were collected into this campaign. These are the data shards, and they're contributed by your blockchain address on your Pokemon Go account. You ain't boycotting shit. You just have zero authority over it. You just removed yourself from the authority layer of this and put me in the gutter. Censor the Kimani. What I'm saying has to make sense, right? I'm not crazy. They're literally co-publishing these giant campaigns, 30 billion. Anyway, I gotta get going. Let's get going. Thanks for watching, everybody. Please accept me into Streamer University. It'll change the course of my life, and it'll change the lives of my family as well. Okay, thank you all for watching. I'm glad you